Yes, this is Mr. Controversy, and this is the infamous 3-point conversion station. Keep it locked.
Yes, we are back inside the 3-point conversion sports lounge. Your man, Mr. Controversy. Did you miss me? It's another beautiful Saturday morning. Great day for sports. Great day for sports talk. Lovely, man. Great place to be. And of course, I'm not doing this by myself. Got my co-host, Road Dog, partner in crime, Mr. D Intellectual. What up, man?
Yes. What's the deal? It's a beautiful Saturday. Thought it was supposed to be raining this weekend. It definitely don't look like it's going to be raining.
Yeah, I'm still crossing my fingers, man. You just never know, bro.
Hey.
I wanted to come in Sunday, then next thing you know, cable, internet, all that.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to get that heavy, yo.
Hey.
It don't get that heavy.
Knock on that wood, hopefully.
Shout out to the people in North Carolina and South Carolina that's going through it, man.
Yeah, it's definitely sad to see everybody going through it, man. Who all that's dealing with that and family members, our prayers go out to you. Also, we got a lot of people that listen to us, man, up in Carolinas. So shout out to them. Hopefully they're doing well. If they're listening to the show, we got your back, praying for you. And speaking of that, it's, college football today on Saturdays. You know how it is, a lot of games. But it is some games that are being affected by that today. So, matter of fact, Division I schools, just to name a few, UCF versus North Carolina, West Virginia versus NC State, East Carolina versus Virginia Tech, and South Carolina going up against Marshall. That all has been canceled. Georgia's game, they're playing Middle Tennessee, and that was supposed to be a 7:15 p.m. start. Now they've moved that up to 12 because of the Hurricane Florence. So my prayers with them. And honestly, that West Virginia NC State is a big game to be canceled, because West Virginia looks like they're going to be a team to be reckoned with. They're trying to get to the playoffs, and because NC State is an ACC team, you take that off the record, because we don't know when they're going to play these games.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, how does that affect the end game? You know what I mean? Like, what if that game becomes very important, and not just for the West Virginia, like overall, it's a lot of teams in there. Like, what, like
I don't know.
Let's say NC State makes some upsets throughout the year, and that game can be big to whatever. Right. You know what I mean?
And NC State is not. They're not a team that you would say that's very good, but at the same time, like, we don't expect them to your point, we don't expect them to go to the playoffs. But West Virginia,
right? Just
to say they played an ACC team,
right?
But now you take that off their schedule, and they don't play, they don't make it up.
Right.
So
that's huge.
But anyway, man, it is so much else to talk about. We're going to try to lighten the mood for you. We have college talk. We have some big games to talk about. We have Auburn, LSU. We'll get into that. We have the TCU Ohio State game tonight. Then we're talking NFL, the Atlanta Falcons. So many injuries, man. What's going to happen? Also, we have the baseball race. Major League Baseball playoff race is getting heated, getting thick. A lot of teams jumping into it now. The Braves took off in the National League East division. So much to get to. Quick hits, what's on our mind. Make sure you call in at 404-603-8770. You can be a part of the show and call in and give your 3 cents. But right now, it's time to get ready for these quick hits. Let's get it. Shout out to Sharon Beats. So first, we want to start off giving the ladies, Seattle Storm, giving them their props. They swept the Washington Mystics, and Breanna Stewart was named MVP, and that girl beast. But Sue Bird came on and said that the Storm has no interest and going to the White House. Another one.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the sentiment now, like, right? That's what happens. Like, any team that wins, we're not going to the White House. Or he'll say you weren't going to be invited in.
Anyway, right.
They still don't come. I think something happened last year with Minnesota, and I think that's what Sue kind of spoke to, like, yeah, that happened where we weren't going anywhere, so even if he did extend the invite, we're not coming to.
And the funny thing is, it's going to get to a point where hopefully it doesn't, where, say if he stays in office throughout his tenure, and teams keep doing this, when the next president come on, it's going to be to the point where nobody's just going just off. Right, like getting so used to not going.
I mean, I kind of did the research with it. I think it started in the 80s or something, where it was just somebody was invited. One of the teams that was invited, I think it was Reagan, if I'm mistaken, my bad. But it started with that, and then it just started to become that. You know what I mean? It wasn't always after you win, you go to the White House. You know, one president did it, and then it just evolved into that. And just as easy as it started, it could end.
Yep.
Which it seems like it's on its way.
Moving on. Green Bay Packers linebacker Ahmad Brooks has been suspended 6 games for an undisclosed reason by the NFL. Quickly, like,
I don't honor that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Undisclosed reason. Like, first off, you're gonna suspend somebody 6 games, which is huge, and then you can't tell us.
That just sounds like some stuff like, I used to date your mother back in the day.
Right, like you mad at me because I did this. Like, I outed you on TV or something. I said that, like, 6 games. That's not 2 games. Yeah. That's 6 games. That's almost half the season.
Right. Moving on.
We'll take it, though, Green Bay.
I know. He garbage anyway. Oklahoma Sooners are leaning towards, the college is leaning toward selling beers during football games. Now, the Oregon Ducks, Oregon is the only college team doing so right now. So
I say why not, but I guess as you think about it, college teams, college kids
don't be there.
And alcohol in the system, that can turn into a riot. That can turn into big fights.
Yeah.
But I mean, 21 and over, it's legal. So I mean, that's gonna open up a whole nother.
It is. They 21-year-olds or older getting beers and passing. Hey man, I got you. You know how.
I mean, yeah, but
how we used to do it.
What has happened? I guess you can use Oregon as the blueprint. What has happened in Oregon? Has there been fights? Has there been issues? Has there been this? You know what I mean?
We're talking about Oregon.
Okay, but even said, right, you can go anywhere else and get
so let
drunk.
that happen in Alabama. You think that's a good right?
That's the first thing that came to mind when it came. I was like, Alabama.
Right.
I'm like, exactly. Dude, Tuscaloosa beer.
Exactly. Moving on.
Half of them hung over from last night anyway.
Right. Gilbert Arenas. You all know Gilbert Arenas, the former Washington
Agent Zero.
I don't say bullet. He wasn't
Washington
there
Wizards.
He was there when the Wizards. He wasn't there when the Bulls.
He was shooting Steph Curry jumpers before Steph Curry was shooting jumpers.
Turning around
from that
I know you talking about
the design.
So look, he challenged Nick Young, Swaggy P, to a shooting contest and offered to put up 100 racks.
And he came with a GA bag too.
Yeah. And Nick didn't show up, right? Swaggy P didn't show up, but Gilbert brought him waiting. So he said he just got bored or whatever. I'm about to do this anyway. And shot 100 3-pointers and made 95 out of 100.
Yes, sir.
And then left. What'd he say, G? When he left?
He's like, I've been sitting on the couch for 4 months watching Netflix, and I'm going back to the couch. They just put Black Panther on there.
He a monster. So I follow him on IG. So he really be with it on IG. Like he be with the garbage. He just put up something the other day that showed 1 year he averaged the most turnovers. And this is what his caption was. He said, "See what happened when your team tell you to pass the ball all the time. See, if I wasn't passing all the time, if I wasn't passing the ball, my turnovers would be that high." He said he blamed it on every one of his coaches and teammates for always saying, "Pass me the ball."
Agent Zero, a fool, man. Moving on. Milwaukee police says one officer in the Sterling Brown incident has been fired, but it was for violating on social media policy, not because of what he did and how he assaulted Sterling Brown, the Milwaukee Bucks player at the time. So here's why he was fired. Quickly, Here go a couple of tweets. So one was nice meeting Sterling Brown of the Milwaukee Bucks this morning. At work this morning. LOL. Hashtag fear the deer. That was after what happened, right? Right after what happened. Then, this is after game 1 of the finals. He says, I hope J.R. Smith double parks in Walgreens handicap parking lot here in Milwaukee.
Remember saying that.
When he's in Milwaukee after game 1. This is after game 1.
Right. But so here's the thing, right?
I ain't trying to lie. I almost laughed when I saw the J.R. Smith, but go ahead.
But here's the thing, and this is so hilarious to me. You can get fired for
that,
tweeting,
and that's what I'm saying.
But you can't get fired
can
for
I get
what
a stop
you
it for that?
actually did to Sterling Brown.
When I saw that, that's the reason why I saw it. Like, we got to talk about this.
Like, seriously, you can get fired for tweeting that you hope J.R. Smith does this, but for what you actually did to Sterling Brown, you don't even get in trouble for it.
Wow.
Yeah, they need to stop it.
But that's ridiculous right there. Like, I couldn't believe that, man. And it just Kaepernick, I feel you, baby.
Stand with Cap. Yeah.
Right.
Please kneel with Cap.
Last but not least, Kobe Bryant has been working with Kawhi Leonard in Toronto. What does that mean, sir?
I mean, I think that means a lot. First off, you working with one of the greatest. Kobe don't mind lending his hand to people that want to be great, right? I think it definitely can help with his footwork and that dog in him. But I don't think it has anything to do with him going to L.A.
Right.
Some of the reports you're hearing, whether it's from Danny Green or other people, is that he's kind of digging Toronto. And what I continuously hear is when you know us on the outside saying Toronto, but when players get to Toronto, it's a whole different ball game. Like, they like Toronto as a city, as a town. But it's also hasn't gotten cold yet. He's an L.A. guy. When Toronto get cold, it's negative 92.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's a whole different ball game. You know what I'm saying? Like, from October,
right? It's true
to April. It's real cold. It's like we're talking about a hockey town. You know what I mean?
Right.
Canada is hockey country. You know what I mean?
That's all you gotta say.
It's gonna be cold.
And it's like Kobe's trying to get his and I ain't trying to be bogus and say, here you go, being like Mike. But remember when Mike retired? Like, Mike was the one that came out to L.A. to help Kobe. Phil had him come to help Kobe with his fadeaway and all of that.
I think Kobe taking it a little further because Mike didn't just rock with anybody, right?
Yeah.
Mike probably just rocked with Kobe, Kobe.
It was like a
Kobe kind of like helping,
which is cool
everybody.
though. But he learned from that. And it's
absolutely. And it's showing a different side of Kobe. You know what I mean? I've talked about it before. That's why I like Kobe as he got older. You know what I mean? And I see myself doing the same with LeBron as he got older. Right. They kind of go into a different, a different place.
So that's what's up, man. So look, that concludes Quick Hits. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Hello, I'm Crystal Dayan, and this is your Sports News Break. Last night here at home, the Braves stayed hot, winning their 6th game in a row over the Washington Nationals, 10-5. Ronald Acuna was a home run shy of the cycle, going 4 for 5, including 2 RBI. The Braves are 7.5 games in front of the Philadelphia Phillies, and in first place. The Falcons will hold Deontay Freeman out of Sunday's home opener against the Carolina Panthers because of a leg injury. They will also be without Pro Bowl linebacker Deion Jones, who was put out on IR on Tuesday due to a foot injury. Jones is expected to be back later in the season. Number 3 ranked Georgia Bulldogs host Middle Tennessee State today, and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets travel to Pittsburgh to face the 1-1 Panthers. The Atlanta United returned to action on today to match up against the Colorado Rapids. The United has already clinched a playoff spot and is 1 point back from the first place, which is the New York Red Bulls. Make sure to follow the 3-point conversion for all your major sports news updates. It's where fans' opinions matter.
There's a lot going on in the world, and your world is always changing. That's why it's important to stay connected. The latest news, the latest entertainment, the newest music. If it's in the air or on the air, it can be in the palm of your hand, wherever you are, with the iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
Over 1,500 live radio stations from across the country, and over 15 million songs to create your own custom stations. Text IHR to 45495 to download the app or listen at iHeartRadio.com. Standard text and data rates apply.
Hey, what's going on? It's your man Terrell Thomas. We out here right now. Big up, shout out to the 3-point conversion.
Yes, we are back inside the 3-point conversion sports lounge. Mr. Controversy here with my man D Intellectual.
Yes.
And this next segment, the hot topic, is brought to you by Cindy Cuts Barbershop, located on 3000 Chapel Hill Road, Suite 206, Douglasville, Georgia. Great barbershop. And I don't say that because they're a sponsor. That's the shop, man. That's, like I always say, never see a chair that's empty. Everybody can cut in there. Great talk, brotherhood. I mean, even sisterhood. Women come in there. It's like I said, it's a great barbershop, man. You get the best of both worlds, the old school and the new school as well. Got Uncle Sean in there. What up, Uncle Sean? And want to shout out my barber, Dwayne Chambers, and make sure you follow him on Instagram at Simha the Barber. That's SIMHATHEBARBER. And today's hot topic, we are talking about these Atlanta Falcons. Man, they can't catch a break. I mean, first Keanu Neal, then we hear about Deion Jones, the linebacker, the Pro Bowl linebacker, and now Devontae Freeman. He's going to miss tomorrow's game against the Carolina Panthers.
At least tomorrow's game, right?
Yeah, man, this is not going good for the Falcons right now. They lose the first game. And now they bring in a divisional foe, the Carolina Panthers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the first game, like you said, they lost, but that was an opportunity to take advantage, right? Like, to take that game. That was a game they should have taken. I don't think Julio they even looked his way in the red zone, which always seems to be an issue.
Right.
As far as catching a break, nobody going to feel sorry for you. Nobody's going to be, oh, they got hurt, this, that, and the third. So, man, they got a next man up. That's the mentality it's supposed to be, and that's what it has to be. They got a good back in Coleman. He should be able to come out and instantly be a good runner this week. I see him putting up numbers, so I don't think that should be really a big
it shouldn't be a
back from what
big drop off,
doing,
but
right.
It's psychological though. It's I mean, you're not having injuries as far as alignment are very important, but we're talking big names. We're talking key individuals. I know everybody's important, but these are key individuals on the defensive side. Then you lose Devontae. Devontae might not sting as much because you have Tevin Coleman, but just the fact that it's another big name that's going down.
But I think, like you said, it's mental. You know what I mean? And that's what separates the good teams from the great teams, is that you don't let that mental block become an issue with the next game. Like, if that's what's happening, that's part of football, right? So, yeah, it's a big name and they need this, but, man, put up more points or do this or, whatever the case may be.
Speaking of more points.
What it's going to call for.
Speaking of more points, the defensive side is being hindered the most, and we know Quinn wants to go that route. So what we want to talk about is with the defensive side being wounded and now they're not full strength. Even though the offense is their strength when you think about the Falcons, but
oh no, they
really,
defense was top 5 last year.
The defense is big.
It was like top. I think it was top 5. Like
They were big.
Something, right?
So if this doesn't work this year, do we go ahead and say, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't sign Julio. I know they kind of give him that promise, but maybe we shouldn't sign Julio. Maybe we let Tevin Cole or trade Devontae. Like, I don't want to say break up because everybody signed for the most part except for
right.
Julio, but do you split do you split them apart? Do you say, hey, let's go a different route?
I mean, you 2 years from the Super Bowl, from losing the Super Bowl, giving the Super Bowl away? Like, you 2 years from that? I wouldn't. And what I mean by it is, even last week, right? That play calling was not the best, right? Mm-hmm. So how much is it? How much of it is players? You know what I mean? So
true.
So if it doesn't go well this year, do you switch offensive coordinators? Then
you have to.
You got to.
We've been talking about that.
We talked about that, right? Like, we're not gonna say Sarkisian's playbook isn't well. It just may not fit this team.
No,
it's
not,
college.
No, let's get it right.
College.
No, it's not. Don't say Sarkisian's playbook. This is still Shanahan's playbook. That's the problem. They need to stop
trying to make
Sarkisian. He's, first of all, like,
let him do him pretty much.
Yeah, we know he's not an NFL. He's never been an assistant coach in the NFL. He's never called plays, anything like that. You bring him in, now he's calling someone else's plays. You're not going to be like him. And like my man H.O., shout out to H.O., said last week, it's more a scheme.
Right, scheme.
So maybe we need to let him go. Then maybe they need to say, you know what, this is not working.
My thing with that, right, is they getting what they deserve if that's the move that they made. You know what I mean? And what I mean by, you see Carolina went and got North Turner, right? An established offensive coordinator, right? Mm-hmm. Quarterback whisperer, right? Like, somebody that does this, right? So instead of Atlanta going and do that, what do? They go get Sarkisian, right? Like, they go get somebody who's unproven. They go get somebody, and that's why they're going through what they're going through right now. Like, if you have aspirations to be in the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, get the title, you don't go backwards and go get an inexperienced offensive coordinator.
Right. And, we talked about this many times. They need to, something has to change right there. But then, too, does Dan Quinn go? And again, ladies and gentlemen, we're not panicking. All I'm saying is, if it doesn't work, this is year 3. I'm a firm believer you let the coach stay, but we know this not.
This NFL is different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So do you break up this team? Because it's funny, when Megatron retired, first when Megatron was here, all Matt Stafford could do was look his way. Now, yes, they were driving, and they made some playoff appearances, but they
weren't good.
They couldn't get over the hump. When Megatron left, you saw Matt Stafford become. You really saw, like, man, this dude,
right, better quarterback
is
But is that in an instance like that? Is that Matt Stafford? Is that the offensive coordinator, the head coach, or is it? See, Megatron saying, "I want the rock." Like, you get him the rock, but you get him. You don't give nobody the rock at the expense of losing.
Megatron doesn't strike me as that guy that is like that. You know what I'm saying?
That is like that.
That's
that
like,
give me the rock.
As a matter of fact, it was times where Megatron would have early in his career have four receptions for maybe 152 yards and 2 touchdowns, but he had 18 targets. I don't think he's like that, but still, we see the same qualities because we see Matt Ryan every time it's third and something, he's looking for Julio, which I get it. It makes sense. Why not?
But you don't look at me for first and go.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
And I think if you're not winning with Julio, something's got to be made, man. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just saying, if this doesn't happen now, true enough, the big thing is New Orleans Saints lost last week. That helped out the Falcons. They can breathe a little bit.
Right.
even if Carolina comes in and win, Carolina hurting themselves because I think it's their. Is it the right side of the
and Olsen
line?
out?
Yeah, Olsen out.
Olsen out.
So this is helping them out.
But when you always got killer, anything can happen.
Now let me ask you this: since we're talking about the Falcons, and maybe if they don't make it this year, should they blow it up or make some rash decision? What other teams in the NFL do you think? You have a team? You say Cincinnati?
We talked about him before. It's Steelers.
Yeah, definitely Steelers.
Especially if Le'Veon doesn't come back.
Yeah. I mean, so with the Steelers, do you let Ben go too? You just saying let Ben go?
Yeah, let him go or, draft his replacement. If you don't see it being Mason Rudolph or Dobbs, look to draft his replacement and see if you can get something for Antonio Brown. I don't think they'd really trade Antonio Brown, but I think they'd think about it.
Right. I think we'd have to see what's the contract situation with Ben, right? Like what else is he owed for the rest of, what's guaranteed, what would be dead money, things of that magnitude. As far as rebuilding right now, if Le'Veon don't come back, that might be a great choice because they'll have Connor, right? They'll have whoever would be the replacement quarterback. And like you said, as far as Antonio Brown, if you're gonna start over, don't halfway start over. You know what I mean? Go ahead and get a couple first rounders for him and make it happen. But I think Cincinnati, like they done tinkered on the edge.
But who would you blow up?
I mean, Dalton.
Yeah, I guess you just let Dalton go.
Marvin Lewis.
Man.
For the Steelers, Roethlisberger has 1 year left. He'll be a free agent in after the 2019 season. He will be 37 years old.
And he probably has all his guaranteed money already if you're in the last year. So they could probably cut strings with him and just let it ride. And, I mean, based on what he's been saying the last few years, he would probably just retire anyway. It's not like he probably would be running to go to another team. And who going to sign a 37-year-old to be their starting quarterback anyway, right?
It's a lot of teams that do it all the time.
Yeah, they do. I would.
They do it. Yeah.
For that last big bang, huh?
Right.
That last big hoorah.
And the funny thing is, somebody mentioned to me about the Green Bay Packers. Who would they blow up?
That's what I was going to say. I tried when I was
looking
looking
at
it.
Doing that very slowly.
Right,
anyway,
right. But like you said, it's only Aaron Rodgers though. You got Devontae Adams, but he's not. It's not really a blow up because he's still young, right? Like he's somebody you can rebuild with. So I mean, but Aaron Rodgers, why would you get rid of him? He got the way he's playing, 5 to 7 years to still left in him, playing at an elite level. So. I mean, and he is the team almost. As he goes, they go. So what are you really blowing up? And I think we talked about it before. They are kind of consistent with going 13-3 or 12-4 and then getting to the playoffs
and losing. The Giants, we thought it's funny. It's funny how teams they would go to a point where you think, all right, they're about to blow this up with the Eli situation, but then you draft a Saquon. 2 years ago, you got 2 or 3 years ago, whatever it was, you get Beckham Jr. Now all of a sudden, maybe we should keep Eli.
I think that was more of a McAdoo thing, though, right? Like McAdoo not going away around things the way he is. I mean, Eli hasn't looked like great, right, the last few years, but he hasn't looked terrible as we've seen other quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, he had no receivers.
He had no receivers last year. No running. He hasn't had a running back in 5 years.
Shoot, probably more than that.
Since Tiki, maybe, right?
Yeah, since Tiki.
So if they know they don't have to play the run, it's going to stack up against the pass. So, I mean, I like I don't think the Giants. Well, they definitely need to get a quarterback to replace him because he's like 102.
I just think that going back to the Falcons, I'm not saying it's panic time. It's still early, but it's scary time when you have your key players
steady getting injured,
and then it becomes mental. This is where you have to we have to see what Dan Quinn does as far as
a coach.
coaching,
As a
and not
coach.
even coaching, but motivating. You know, we talk about McAdoo. He said his job is not to motivate players.
That's why he ain't got no job.
So we need Dan Quinn to come in here and say, you know what? Look, like you stated earlier, this next man, I mean, whatever. That's why we have 53 people on the team, you know, and we get other players so we can do whatever.
Absolutely. With that being said, you can't let Julio go for nothing.
No, they're
Like,
not.
if you do blow it up,
He got 3 years left. He got like 5 years left. That's why
No,
he's complaining.
that's why
Yeah.
he's still complaining.
But anyway, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cat Williams, and you are listening to 3 Point Conversion Radio.
Are you tired of limiting yourself from tasty food because you want to eat healthy? Well, Salad Express will fix that problem for you. Salad Express is a gourmet salad and grill restaurant that gives you multiple options to satisfy your taste buds and keep you healthy. They have over 40 toppings, which are all cut fresh daily, and 7 homemade soups, including chili. You can also order hot sandwiches and wraps, with choices like grilled chicken, steak, salmon, and shrimp, which can all be added to salad as well. Go ahead and visit them today at 1055 Mansell Road, Suite 600 in Roswell, Georgia. Your taste buds will thank you.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Kent Bazemore from the Atlanta Hawks. You're now listening to 3 Point Conversion.
All right, we are back inside the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge.
Yes.
College football
Saturday.
is here. Saturday morning. What's better? And, you know, last week we started out, we'll continue to do this. We come up with our counterfeit teams. And this is where, I'm going to explain it again. This is where you come up with a counterfeit, a team from last week that won, but really isn't good as their record or what they displayed last week say they are. So it's kind of harsh, but we're sports.
It's life.
Yeah. Trying to help them out is how it's going to be in the real world.
Get ready for the real world,
Right.
kids.
So, D, it's on you, man. Who is your counterfeit team?
My counterfeit team this week is going to be Michigan. They beat Western Michigan 49-3 last week, but that means absolutely nothing to me. You know, they had a subpar season last year after being highly ranked. They were highly ranked this year, lost to a subpar Notre Dame team that, has a good defense, but that offense is not really good at all. This year they played 5 top 12 teams. Well, at the time it was 5 top 12 teams. So I really don't see them ending out the way that, you know, they've been predicted. I could see them ending up like somewhere in the rank of like 9-3. But yeah, that's my counterfeit team.
Michigan, they came back and won. Me being a Big Ten fan, I'm hoping that this sparks something. Maybe they realize. And sometimes I think, and I know everybody like he giving them too much. He been lenient on them, but we know Harbaugh. First of all, he got out the way. Usually Harbaugh have his loss late in the season, but maybe he realized the type of player that we have in Shea.
So you
Shea
said
Patterson.
This they lost, huh?
Huh?
This they lost for the year.
The loss when they lost to Notre Dame. I mean, we don't know, but Shea Patterson is supposed to be this guy that's good. You know, we saw what he did in Ole Miss. So maybe it's like, you know what? Maybe we need to draw back, play him differently. Now, true enough, they played no one last week, but I'm just saying, hopefully this gets them going. We'll see. But my counterfeit team, is Notre Dame, Irish. You say, why Notre Dame? Man, they played Ball State. They struggled with Ball State. Wimbush threw 3 interceptions. Matter of fact, it was like a last-minute pick that saved the game. So I'm going to go back to what D said. He said Michigan is his counterfeit team. That's who Notre Dame beat.
Right.
Game 1. And then you struggle against Ball State?
Right.
Like, did Ball State just get a football team 3 years ago?
What was the score?
It was like 24-17. They barely beat Ball State. Like,
and their
for real.
defense is supposed to be highly regarded, right?
And I think they were at home.
What?
Were they at home? Yeah, I think they were at home.
They need to drop.
So
They need to drop just because
all
of
I'm
that.
saying is, no, were they at home? Let me see. I think they were at home. But all I'm saying is, they're 2-0. They're number 8. The 8th ranked team, you don't play Ball State, a team like Ball State, and then all of a sudden you barely lose. I mean, you barely win. You know what I'm saying? And you struggled with them, like, mightily. Yeah, they were at home. They won 24-16. That's not good. So they get my counterfeit team of the week.
They should have dropped.
So, yeah, they should have dropped, but they didn't. Whatever. But we got 2 big games tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into our big games, I want to ask you about Ohio State. You know, Dwayne Haskins was my nosy neighbor watch last week, and he came out, he bought out again. But with everything that happened within this college and, you know, the situation with Urban Meyer not being there and everything that happened with that, all the craziness, true enough, they hadn't played any great team or good team, if you want to say that. I still think Oregon State is a decent team. I don't think they're good, but, you know, they're Division I. And they're in the Pac-10, or Pac-12. But do you think all of this hurt or let me rephrase it. Did it fuel Ohio State, the players and the team, more than it hurt them?
I don't even want to say that. I just feel like you said, they haven't really played nobody. And I think that went into the thought of the suspension, the first 3 games, instead of whether it was the first half of the season or the entire season. They didn't want to chalk one up. But, I mean, it's Ohio State. Like, I don't want to say they can be coached by anybody because that's definitely not, you know, how it is. Yeah. But Urban Meyer's game plan was still there. And, I mean, like, the assistant coaches, the coaches be under him, know exactly what he want to do in those 3 games. You know what I mean? So I don't want to say it fueled them or it hurt them. I feel like they just played their game.
Well, the reason why I asked that question is because when you in the pros, when something's going on in the locker room, for instance, the Le'Veon Bell situation, which is a big situation, or something happened within a player, what do we always hear? It's a distraction.
Right.
So if these are professional players, grown men,
it definitely was a distraction. It definitely could have been a distraction. But I think what separates it, right, is that it wasn't something that he did to the team, right, or something he did with one player or something with necessarily the team. It was more so this person, another coach.
But I don't know. The reason why I disagree with that is because the fact that it's still, like, in the NFL or basketball or whatever, when it happens, it's a player dealing with something, but it's not like, it doesn't have to be where the player's going against the team. It could be something the player just did outside of that sport. Right. But yet still, it's a distraction. Mm-hmm. Now, why I think it might not be a distraction, why I think it did fuel them, is because everybody all of a sudden felt like, okay, Ohio State's about to go down. And it didn't happen. Maybe the players were happy that Urban didn't get fired. But not only that, think about this. Jay, I want you to chime in on this. The players didn't get interviewed. They don't get to get interviewed. See, NFL professionals doing practice, training camp, the players are getting interviewed, which means media is always asking the players, so what do you think about this? Is this a distraction? they didn't have to go through that because they're college players. Do you think that's the reason that it could have helped them?
Well, I think the reason why like college players don't get interviewed during like before or after practice or whatever is because there's like 100 players. And, you don't want to, some players, even if they're warming the bench, you don't want to see them have any kind of resentment or anything like that. And also, I think it will make it easier for coaches to kind of like control the environment of practice. They want the players to focus on practice, and plus their schedule dictates what they have class in like 20 minutes. They don't have time to do these interviews. They have to take a shower and get to class if they actually go. So I think there are like more logistical things that are involved as far as players not.
No, right. No, I know that. I mean, that's given. I'm saying, but do you think that's
that
a reason?
Help them?
Or that it didn't distract them? That it didn't distract them?
It didn't distract them, of course, since that doesn't happen. And they could just focus on the game because that's all they could focus on.
Right.
I mean, and what were the players going to, the players are going to give you what's called coach speak as far as if they did get asked any questions.
And I think
so there's nothing there to get from them.
And that's what I mean by it so much as it being that assistant coach, right? As opposed to it being a player on the team or something happened like that. It was like an assistant coach in the White House taking pictures. It was like, I don't know what Buddy was doing with all his free time. You know what I mean? I wasn't with him. I was with the running back and the linebacker.
He was the wide receivers coach. You're not going to ask an offensive lineman about him.
Right.
Like, I don't know him.
I don't know.
And that's why I think it like that was. I knew it wouldn't distract them because when it first happened, because like I said, you're not going to be able to ask the kids. I mean, reason why it's always the distraction is because it's always being brought up, but it's being brought up in the locker room.
Right.
It's I don't think that on television they're watching TV and it's like.
But even the accusations, right? He might be that coach where nobody really liked him like that anyway, right? Like the accusations that has come out and everything. He might have been that coach that people was like, well, dude kind of get out like that anyway. He's drunk most of the time. You know what I mean? He might be that kind of coach anyway.
Or it could have been where the kids were
happy.
Laughing. No, they're laughing at him because they're young.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So something like that, we were tripping off of it, so they probably was laughing.
Right, they probably not even making a big deal out of it. They probably like, man, Coach Smith a fool.
Right,
you know what I mean? Like,
right. So now, with all of that being said, tonight's the game, TCU, Ohio State. Who do you have?
Ohio State. I can't see an upset. Not to say TCU can't possibly do it, but I mean, Ohio State.
Well, I mean, you're right. I just say this. Gary Patterson came out. He said, one game doesn't define your season, whether we win or lose. That sounds like somebody is scared.
That's the TCU coach?
Yeah.
He not a motivator either. Who he motivating with that?
Go ahead.
I think he's trying to get the players to be loose.
Yeah,
to be on the wild side, just to be loose, to like, let's just go out there and play. And if we don't win, then we'll be in the Fiesta Bowl.
That's not how I want my coach to. I want my coach to say we're going to rip their heads off.
And I would think because they kind of have the home field advantage. They're playing well. I think they have a chance, but the way Ohio State has looked in the first two games,
right?
The way they set up,
the
way they set up,
but they hadn't played anyone though. I mean, really, and then they're not.
But look. If they played Ball State, they would have put up 77 or 52 points.
That's why Notre Dame is a counterfeit team.
I can't believe that coach said that, man.
Yeah, he said that. Now look. Now then you think about what TCU has to offer. Like I said, Ohio State's defense hasn't been that good. I mean, even when they put up 77, Oregon put up some points on them. Oregon State did. So now you got this young kid named Sean Robinson. His quarterback, he can throw the ball and he can run. I think he has 7 total touchdowns, but he can throw and run. You don't think this gives?
Who have they played?
They hadn't played too many people anyway. I mean, it's about the same, but still, like I said, if Ohio State is giving up, what was it, 31 points? I think it was like 31 points, something like that. think it was 31 points to Oregon State.
But they still scored 77.
No. What I'm saying is, though, TCU was way better, much better.
Well, TCU has played Southern and SMU.
The same as Ohio State. I mean, true. But what I'm saying is, though, their offense is better than Oregon State and Quick Trip University that Ohio State played last week.
The defense got to want to get up, though. There's no reason to kind of like get up, right?
Nah, you can't say that in football. If they feel like that, they're gonna lose.
Okay. Well, we already know how they coach. TCU coach.
So all right. So we all say no upset. We say Ohio State got that.
No, you think? Apparently, you think
I think it's gonna be closer.
Gonna come with it.
I think it's gonna be closer.
What time they play? They play early. They got an early game.
No, it's a night game.
Jeez.
I think they play older. I think they play better. TCU plays much better than their other Ohio State's other opponents. I just think though that if Ohio State does win this game, this would be big for them because now they went 3-0. This was the game that they were worried about with Urban being suspended. So we all say Ohio State. What about this LSU-Auburn game?
I'm sensing an upset.
You think LSU going to get them?
I think they might, man.
They just don't have any offense. They're leading. Okay, Joe Burrow is their quarterback. He's
a quarterback.
Thank you. A quarterback. Their leading receiver has got Justin, and I'm not no shade on him, but this is maybe on the quarterback. Justin Jefferson this is for the season now. They played 2 games, right? 6 receptions for 86 yards. That's the leading receiver. Leading receptions and yards.
Okay.
And you're playing a very good defense with Auburn?
How's Auburn's offense?
It's better than LSU. I mean, because LSU has a defense also.
Oh, that's the point I'm bringing to. So it could turn out to be an ugly game, right?
It normally is between those two teams.
It is, yeah.
And it's going to come down to somebody poorly managing the clock
or a turnover.
I thought that was just with Les Miles, but it has continued with whoever's going to be coaching LSU going forward. Someone's always bad at managing the clock.
I just think that Jared is a better quarterback than Burrow. I mean, he might not turn the ball over. He can get you some yards down the field, and Auburn has a better running game.
Is that an early game?
No, it's a 3:30 game.
Sheesh.
So I think Auburn takes this, man. I just don't think LSU has enough offensively.
I think they finna dirty it up.
LSU will go as far as, I was looking at the running back's name, Nick Brissett. He is just the next guy in line after Geis, after Fournette.
After whoever comes, right?
So but do you think...
Go as far as he goes.
But right. I just don't think that it's enough with playing Auburn, man. I don't think they have enough. So I got LSU losing this game. I mean, Auburn's going to go through another week. Like I said, their defense is tough. And one thing about college football, you find ways to win. You know, that's why we've seen them beat Alabama or beat Georgia, because it wasn't basically because of the quarterback play. It was just, hey, we out-scheme them. We better defensively. We're going to run the ball. And I don't think
LSU by a field goal.
You think LSU by a field goal? Wow. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with what's on our mind.
Hey, this is Gary Payton. Y'all listen to 3 Point Conversion Radio. It's the bomb.
What's up, world? This is Vincent J, aka the Fantasy Guru, and here are your fantasy facts heading to week 2. One running back that I love this week is ageless wonder Adrian Peterson of the Washington Redskins. He's playing at home against the Indianapolis Colts, who last week allowed 149 total yards and a touchdown to running back Joe Mixon. This matchup is way too good to keep him on your bench. One player who I'll bench this week is Detroit Lions wide receiver Marvin Jones. With the stellar play of second-year wideout Kenny Galladay, Jones has been put in the back burner of targets. He may struggle a bit against the San Francisco 49ers in a possible matchup with all-pro cornerback Richard Sherman. I still think Jones will have a good overall fantasy season, but I'm a bit weary starting him this week. My sleeper pick this week is Cleveland Browns quarterback Tyrod Taylor. If you own quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers, who's nursing an injury, and Tom Brady, who has a tough defensive matchup, Taylor may be your guy that could give you good fantasy numbers. He's playing on the road against the New Orleans Saints, who Tampa Bay's quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick last week murdered them, throwing for over 400 passing yards. Now, I'm not saying he'll duplicate those numbers, but Taylor has good receivers and can run the ball well, which is a great fantasy quality. Before I go, let me just say this. Week 1 has passed and there were some players that got injured or just didn't play to that high pick potential, such as Kareem Hunt, Doug Baldwin, Sean Watson, and Matt Stafford, just to name a few. Look, folks, don't hit the panic button just yet and start dropping them based on their performances. It's only week 1. Be patient and give some time. They will bounce back. Now, if you want to check out more fantasy facts and my ahs and ahs, make sure you continue to follow me on the web at the 3pointconversion.com.
It's time to get in the mind of Mr. Controversy and the Intellectual with What's on My Mind.
Right, we're back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. This next segment, What's on Our Mind? I know it's our mind. It's What's on My Mind, but it's our because D is talking also. But it's What's on My Mind. It's brought to you by Sucker Free Life LLC. Make sure you live your truth for the world to see because everyone can be sucker free. Make sure you purchase your apparel today. Exclusively on Facebook /Sucker Free Life LLC. All right, so what's on my mind? I really want to talk about this and get at least 3 or 4 minutes because, you know, when you post something on social media and I asked a question and everybody wanted to go ham and whatever, so let me talk what's on my mind, man. So, this first week in the NFL that just passed, we saw a lot of blowouts. We saw Chicago beat Frank's team on fantasy football. I'm just kidding. That's for Frank. What up, Frank? But anyway, don't talk mess anymore, buddy. But no. So we saw a lot of blowouts. We saw the Saints get blown out. We saw the Jets get blown out. I mean, the Lions get blown out. I'm sorry. We saw, what was another surprising? What was the other surprising win? The
Bucks.
No, I said the Bucks.
Okay.
I can't. But it was a lot of games that it was weird. Teams didn't play as well as they would normally.
Maybe the Chiefs.
Tennessee didn't play well in the Chargers. So, especially with Tennessee. So, all right. Why? What happened? Especially the Lions, Tennessee, and New Orleans. Well, I came out and I did say, and I told everyone that I really think, well, I asked a question, do you think this has something to do with the preseason? People were like, what do you mean? Well, with the preseason, a lot of teams held their starters from really playing in the preseason. Like even the dress rehearsal game, they didn't play. It was a few teams, like half the league didn't do that. And with the teams that did do that, they're the ones that suffered the worst losses, the embarrassing losses. People were like, no, you crazy. It's not about that. I mean, they're just not good. Like they talked about Detroit Lions. They somebody made a mention that because the Lions lost like that, they can forget the season. This is going to hurt them forever. It's only game 1, which brings me to my point. I really do believe that them not playing their starters hurt them. Why? Because you don't have cohesiveness now. You know, it always take a while. We always know, even a few years back, the first game, it took a while for teams to get warmed up. But when you hadn't played against live competition together in preseason, this is kind of like your first real competition as far as the starters. It takes a while. To me, with the Bears, I think it hurt them because now, they were tired. They were fatigued. First half, they came out great. But then the second half, they got tired. I mean, you saw it. I mean, then Coach Nagy, I thought it was a bad, coaching game in the second half, but I think preseason came into play. I know people say, hey, we should not play preseason. What's it for? Yes, I like it for the players that are trying to get spots, but at the same time, it's still needed because you still need to practice. Practicing against your own team is not going to solve problems. You have to go against live competition because you're practicing against your team. I don't care if we're saying we're going full pads. Y'all still not going full throttle. It's your teammates. You might get in the fight. That's fine, but you're not going full throttle. We've seen this. We keep seeing this offense in practice for the last 15 days in training camp. But I just think that this week coming up, stuff will start looking more normal. You'll see New Orleans look normal. You'll see Lions look normal. The Chargers play, normal. Now, Kansas City came beat Chargers. They play well, but I just think things happen. So I guess I feel like saying to the person I probably hate the most, God forgive me, is like he said, just relax. 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 And that's what's on my mind.
Definitely had some good points up in there. So what's on my mind today, and what I would like to talk about is this whole Serena Williams thing. Everything that's been going on with her regarding how she reacted in that the U.S. Open match. Not just about how she reacted, but the fallback and the harsh criticism she's received. She's definitely spoke to sexism, where it's if it was a man, he wouldn't have received the backlash she got, whether it's the points being deducted, losing the game, or I also feel like she wouldn't have received the criticism she has received since. Based on a lot of different umpires, they thought that the guy Ramos at the time, he wanted to show he was the big bad, he can kind of do what he wants regarding that magnitude. And of course, she spoke out about it and said that she definitely spoke out about it and said that it was sexism. Which it definitely does seem like it. John McEnroe, we've seen it numerous times, how he reacts. He can break tennis rackets, he can curse, he can do whatever he wants, and he never gets any type of fallback. And even now, he still does what he wants, say what he wants, and he never has to really deal with it. But yet, a woman does it, and she has to. She's not supposed to act like that. She disrespected the sport. You see all over social media where she's not a good champion, and what else? Some of the things they're asking for a revolution, and it takes a hard look. It needs a hard look within, just because of what she's done. Like, I think that's ridiculous. Like, if it was if it was a man out there doing it, it'd just be like, yeah, he lost his temper because he's so passionate about the game. But when it's a young black woman out there, it's she disrespected the game. She has no respect for the game. She's not a good champion. I just definitely don't believe in that. And then also they come out with this guy comes out with a cartoon that's like disrespecting her, and then it's showing what's her name, Naomi Osaka, in a different light than what she actually is. So I just don't like that, and I don't like how she's been almost demonized just because she had a problem with the chair umpire at a U.S. Open match. I think that if it was if it was a man doing it, it wouldn't be such a big deal. It would be he's passionate about it, and he's a good champion. He just really wants it to be done, but when it's done by a woman, it's a whole completely different thing. And it's not always sexism. I'm sure that racism actually, race has a part in it, as it always does. But I just don't agree with it. I don't like how they're trying to demonize Serena Williams, and she's a great champion, and she was passionate about what was going on during the U.S. Open. And I've been thinking about it all week, and it's been everywhere, and everybody's been having their own opinions about it. And I just feel like she's getting demonized for something she shouldn't be demonized about. And that's what's on my mind.
Yeah, a lot of people have a lot of 2 cents they want to talk about. Man, that was an unfortunate situation. I caught the last end of it last week, but read up on it. It was something crazy, man. It's something we have to deal with.
And the Charger a whole game, you know what I mean? Like that changed any momentum she may have had going into it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little much that the umpires may want to get together and boycott her matches. And, like, she is the face of the tour right now. Even with the men playing. Yeah, there's Nadal and Federer and Djokovic are still out there, but people still come to see Serena.
You know what I mean? And it seems like because she's so close to breaking the record, right? It seems like ever since then, you see, she hasn't really won, right? She hasn't won any majors.
Yeah.
And it seems like a lot of the calls have been borderline. You know what I mean? Like, is it because she's going to break the record? Like, seriously? We know she's going to break it. Y'all not going to be able to do anything against her breaking it. She going to break the record eventually. She can play for another, I'm not saying she will. She can play for another 10, 15 years if need be. You know what I mean? The shape she's in. She going to break the record. Like, you know what I mean? Leave it alone. But like you say, for them to actually sit to talk about boycotting it based off that, like, come on, man. Seriously? McEnroe used to destroy refs.
He still does it now.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
You are tuned into WWE Peakville, AM 1100.
The opinions expressed during the sponsored programs on this station are strictly those of the program hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of Beasley Broadcast Group, this station, its staff, other advertisers, or agencies.
Greetings. Barry here. The Real 1100 wants you to register to vote. Join us for our Be the Change Register to Vote campaign. Come on out Saturday, September 22nd, and enjoy music, refreshments, and a chance to meet some of your favorite Real 1100 show hosts and enter raffle giveaways. Be the change you would like to see. Register to vote with us September 22nd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. We can't wait to meet you. And remember, don't boo, vote.
What's good, family? I'm Marlon Sucker Free Jones of Sucker Free Life LLC, and I'm locked in every Saturday to the best sports show on the planet, the 3-point conversion, with no team or no players off limits. So let's talk sports, the best of the best, the worst of the worst, and everything in between. Can you dig that?
No mercy, don't let up on him. Go hard on him, Mr. Controversy. Hit him with the stop it button.
All right, we are back inside the 3-point conversion sports lounge. I want to take this time to thank everybody who was listening live or listening as a podcast on Facebook Live or watching on YouTube. Either or, I appreciate everyone. We do appreciate the support. I mean, it means a lot to us. It really does. And I definitely want to give a special shout out to one of the biggest Patriots fans you will know or see or hear. And right now, he getting his haircut right now at the barbershop. My man, Gerald, a.k.a. Nuki. What's going on, man? I see you. You don't see me. He might not be tall in stature, but his pockets, man. And I don't want to talk about nobody. Hey, Nuki, this ain't me talking. This somebody else giving me this information. I don't want to talk about nobody's pockets, but let me borrow like $20, dog. But anyway, big Patriots fan, always betting on them and all of that, man. So appreciate you listening to the show, bro. And now it is time for the most infamous, the most famous Stop It segment. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Stop it. Stop it. Yes. S-T-O-P, new word, I-T. Stop it.
Stop it. Get some help.
All right, D, it's on you. What you got, sir?
Yeah, so my Stop It is going to go to David Stern. He said that he had tried to stop the LeBron decision from happening because he knew the backlash that was going to happen. It was terrible. It's kind of unclear about how he went to stop, how he tried to stop it.
He didn't.
Right, exactly, and I think that's why he get a stop it for even saying that he tried to stop it or even trying to intervene in it like that. You know what I mean? He always trying to, like, I feel like he tried to rule with an iron fist, even with the Chris Paul trade. He can control what he wants, the narrative with everything with the NBA. So he definitely deserves a stop it for that.
Stop it.
Yeah, there's no way David Stern, the Dundada,
tried to stop something.
You know, the most he could say is like, LeBron, I wouldn't recommend doing this. That's all he would have said. Is that going to stop LeBron from doing his decision? Probably not.
Well, I don't know.
He could have called ESPN and told them don't put
David
it on.
Stern, though, controlled the NBA. Like, people that he wanted in the playoffs made the playoffs. If Stern just do like that and things, come on, man.
I mean, yeah, okay. If you choose to believe that he kept the 2002 Sacramento Kings from winning the championship, you know, you can have that. But as far as like stopping someone from televising their free agent decision, I mean, it should have been put in the rules if you didn't want him to do it. I don't think there's anything he could have done because there was a lot of money involved being donated to charity, and it gave more exposure to the NBA to where announcements for free agency have.
I agree. I'm not saying he wanted to stop it. That's my thing. He didn't want to stop that. But we all know when David Stern wanted something done, it got done. I don't care what it was. And if LeBron would have been like, "Nah, we're going to do this," and he said stop, and LeBron went with it, then we just saw some repercussions. But at the same time, he knew it was LeBron, and he knew that it would make money. It was a seller. ABC had it. Come on. Stop it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, my stop it moment goes to Chicago Cubs reliever Pedro Strop. This man is a reliever, right? And in baseball, we all know if it's a ground ball,
pitchers don't run.
Not even pitchers. Just if it's a ground ball, you can't beat it. You don't go 100 miles per hour to try to beat it when you know you can't, because you can pull a hammy, you could do something like that, right? So in this instance, Coach Madden left him in the game because he wanted him to pitch the next inning, and he was up to bat, and he got a hit, and and it was the bases were loaded, and it was a double play where I think they threw it to home first, and then they threw it to. They was doing it first. Well, he tried to run and beat it out when he doesn't normally hit at all. You knew you couldn't beat it out, but you try to give it your all, and he messed up. messed around, I should say, and pulled a hammy. Now he's out for the year.
Stop it.
Well, he is stopped now.
Right. Like, bro, you just cost your team.
Like, dude, you was the only reliever we had almost. He was the most dominant. I was watching the game. Joe Madden purposely let him in just because they got a run and we were winning, and we want you to come out and shut them down in the 10th. He hit the ball. He hit it. He hit the ball hard too. The guy threw it to home. The catcher couldn't find home. So it took him a minute to look down, find home. Then he fired the ball over the left to first base. Meanwhile, Pedro running like he running a 40 for the NFL Combine.
Not only that, they were playing a Washington Nationals, right?
Right. It was a makeup game.
A game that had nothing to do with.
Had nothing to do with nothing. That everybody asked, can we play this as the last game of the season?
Right.
It's so much of a joke that Rizzo wore his jersey on the plane, saying it was that much of a joke.
Right. So
now we didn't. This is why they didn't want to play the game, because this is what happens.
Stuff like that happens. But I digress. All right.
I mean, at least he got hurt while playing, like instead of
like doing something outside.
Yeah. It's something like it was during the game, but he wasn't on the field at the time.
That was about as worse as him being outside the game, because what are you trying to run 100 miles per hour when we got the game won?
I don't think I've ever seen a pitcher try to beat out a ground ball.
Yeah. Not just a pitcher, a reliever. No one who usually
relievers
bats.
don't.
Right.
What was you doing?
Dude.
Anyway, don't get me started, man. All right.
He was 0 for 3. He wanted to be 1 for 4.
Let's take a quick break, man, because I'm getting upset now thinking about it. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Let me break down to y'all what's so dope about the three-point conversion. First of all, everybody is a fan of the game first. Second of all, everybody is a student of the game second. And third of all, we're the average sports fan just like everybody else. We're not coming in here walking with our nose tipped high, acting snooty, acting brand new. This is a grassroots organization. Bar none. The three-point conversion, where fans' opinions matter. Be sure to visit the website www.the3pointconversion.com. Get your fix, get your articles, multimedia, and everything else that you, as a sports fan, need. So again, the3pointconversion.com. It's where it's at, man, where fans' opinions matter.
Your radio.
Tune in.
Now.
You can tune into this radio station on any smartphone or tablet.
iPhone,
Android,
BlackBerry,
Nokia,
Samsung,
Windows phones,
or whatever you have. Download the free TuneIn app from your phone or tablet's app store.
Tune in with music, sports, news, and comedy.
From over 70,000 radio stations around the world, including this Beasley Broadcast Group station. Check it out at tunein.com
or your app store.
Hi, I'm Cole Johnson of Cole Sports, and you're checking out the 3-Point Conversion. Keep it locked.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. And it is a big boxing night tonight.
Yes.
It's if you're a boxing fan, this is what you want.
Even if you're not a boxing fan, tune in. It's gonna be a great fight.
Yeah, this is what everybody wanted to see. And of course we had to bring in Triple G and Canelo. Now we ain't bringing them in, but that's the fight. But we had to bring in our boxing expert, Mr. Damian Adams from The Real Deal with Damian Adams. What's going on, D?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Glad to be on the show. You know, it's my favorite show
in the world, so I'm always glad to be on it.
Appreciate that, man. Hey, let's get to it, man. This is an important match, or whatever, you know. But I want to know, just stemming from last week. I mean, not last week, but last time they fought. What do you think both fighters can implement in this fight that they didn't implement in the other fight, or they didn't have, or they didn't bring to the match on the last fight?
Well, starting with Canelo, the biggest thing with him is conditioning. So there are certain parts in the fight where you can tell he's taking a break because he's tired. And that's when Triple G would take advantage and get points during that time of the fight. So for him, it's about being able to go full throttle for 12 rounds. And, of course, not saying just go out there and go crazy and just throw punches the whole time, but not taking long breaks where Triple G is able to take advantage. So for him, it's a big thing about being conditioned and also making sure he's boxing the full time. For Triple G, it's all about his jab. And most fighters, they use their jab as just like a measuring stick to measure distance and to step out the punches. But for Triple G, he has a jab that's just as powerful as other boxers' main punches. So if he's able to throw his jab with the emphasis that he normally throws his jab with, that can definitely lead the fight. Because in the last fight, when he threw his jab, he was just kind of putting it out there, measuring, and not really throwing it with the emphasis that he normally throws it with because he was so scared of Canelo's counterpunching. So for Triple G, it's all about his jab, which can set up other punches, but also be a power punch itself. And for Canelo, it's all about being in shape. Honestly, he has got to be in the best condition of his life for this fight.
Absolutely, I definitely agree with that. Now, for the winner, whoever wins the fight, what's next? Who's next? What does the winner do after winning the fight?
So depending on how close the fight is, you could get another rematch. You could get the trilogy, which, would be big money. This fight is costing $100, so I could definitely say I'm doing it again if it's a good fight. If someone wins by a significant margin, I can see them going on to fight Billy Joe Saunders, who's a great middleweight, someone who's an excellent technician, who can be a very interesting fight for either fighter. And also there's a young guy named Jermell Charlo, who's just a power puncher, someone who looks like he may be even more of a power puncher than both of these guys in the division, who could be very interesting, who people would pay to watch as well. So for the winner, it could be either a rematch, depending on how close it is, Billy Joe Saunders, or Jermell Charlo.
We're here live with Damian Adams from the Real Deal with Damian Adams podcast show. And going back to last week, it was another big fight, another interesting fight. And you had Sean Porter defeat Danny Garcia last week for the WBC welterweight title. Little controversy in this fight or in that fight. Like, how did you have the scorecard? Did you agree with how they scored the fight?
Yeah, I agree with the judges. I had it 115, 113 for Porter. There were a lot of people saying that it should have been a draw or that even they had Garcia winning. But I thought Porter did a better job of adjusting throughout the fight. So with Garcia, he's kind of a one-trick pony. He's going to counter-punch. He's going to wait for you to punch, time you, then he's going to punch. And for a counter-puncher, he's not the best at dodging punches. Like, he has to block, then throw his punches, or just catch a punch and then throw it. So what Porter was doing, he was feinting at him, throwing off his timing, did a great job of being able to hit Garcia, because Garcia doesn't have the best head movement in the world. So he's able to hit Garcia in the head, then go to the body, go upstairs, and he was able to do that all night. And there was times in the fight where Garcia looked better because he has a cleaner punch. So Garcia's punches are prettier, but Porter was landing a lot more punches, a lot more volume, and just more consistent throughout the fight. So I definitely agree with the decision to give Porter the decision. But I can see why people would say Garcia just because Garcia's punches look so much cleaner.
Wait, so with that being said, and you watch the fight. I saw you scoring, like you was one of the judges, which you're supposed to. You're the expert, Do you think that it should be a rematch because of that?
They could do a rematch for those two. I think people will watch, but there's also so many welterweights out there that there's probably be more of a calling for other fights. So for like Sean Porter, after the fight, Errol Spence Jr. came into the ring, called him out. Errol Spence is probably the top welterweight right now. He's someone who a lot of people rank as the best guy. So of course Sean Porter, he really looks like a guy who's not going to back down from any challenge. Now he may want to back down from Errol Spence. He may want to try to dodge that fight because he's not on that level. But he's not going to do that, so he's probably going to fight Errol Spence Jr. next. For Danny Garcia, he can maybe fight Keith Thurman again. That could be a good matchup. There's been rumors about him moving up to 154, but I don't know if he wants to do that with his style. I can see him struggling at 154. So for him, he could go with Keith Thurman again. He could fight Mikey Garcia, who's a really good fighter at 135, 140, who's looking to move up to 147. So there's a lot of options for both fighters going forward. So I don't know if the rematch will happen because there's so many options in the welterweight division.
Absolutely. Now, we're going to go in a different direction here. We saw recently Money Mayweather put up on his IG that he was going to come back to fight Pacquiao. Do you think that's going to happen? If it does happen, you think it's going to be a big draw, something that people really want to see?
I hope it doesn't happen, honestly.
Me too. I was thinking the same thing, man.
I don't want to see it again. And I'm a Mayweather fan. Like, I'm someone who appreciates the technicality of Mayweather, the speed, to be able to dodge punches, and what he can do. But at this stage of both of their careers, it's not going to be a great fight. It could be pretty good. You know, maybe Mayweather has slowed down a little bit. You know, we just seen Pacquiao in his most recent fight look pretty good against Matisse. But I don't want to see that again. If Mayweather's going to come back and fight somebody, let him fight someone like Errol Spence and really show that he still got it. Let him fight someone like a Keith Thurman, someone at that welterweight division who really, one of those young bulls that really has it, not Manny Pacquiao. If he fights one of those young bulls, then I would want to see that. But I don't want to see Manny Pacquiao again, and if they charge $100, I'm just going to miss that one.
He might not want to jump out the window. He might not want to jump out the window on none of them young bulls you talking about.
Nah,
that's true. That's true. He might not want that.
He's not doing that. You know, we always say
everything he do is calculated.
Yeah, he's smart.
Everything.
So he know if he does that, he's asking. You know,
it tarnishes his whole career.
Yeah. So just a couple more minutes. I want to ask you, judging his career, Mayweather, where do you rank him? I mean, I know you haven't seen all the great fighters, you know, in the past, but one thing about boxing,
you can go
back. It's not like football where I wasn't allowed. Or basketball, I can't say what, Earl the Pearl was, but you can actually watch a boxing match in its entirety and watch it and see. So, where do you have Money Mayweather? Where do you have him? I was thinking about Maker, but Money Mayweather. Where do you have him? Where do you have him ranked?
Man, that's a tough question. He's definitely up there in the conversation for the greatest of all time. Think about the fact that he's 50-0, and a lot of people talk about him being calculated, but he still beat everybody who he was supposed to beat.
Right.
You know, you think about all the names on his resume: Oscar De La Hoya, Manny Pacquiao.
Don't get me started with
Judah,
Sugar Shine.
But okay, true.
Yeah.
But can I say this? De La Hoya was old.
Who had De La Hoya just beaten?
Like before he fought
Mayweather.
Mayweather?
He had just beaten someone, and they said that he looked great, right?
Yeah, they always say that.
Yeah,
he was.
That's the
old.
thing with.
But then he get in the ring with Mayweather, and now he's old.
No, I was saying that before.
Yeah.
He was old with. Sugar Shane was old.
Let's let the experts speak.
Am I right? Sugar Shane was old, right? Was Sugar Shane old? Sugar Shane was old. It was past his prime.
But Sugar Shane been old for 30 years.
But he was past his prime though, and that's.
You can't control the Sugar Shane one because when Sugar Shane was in his prime, you're talking about early 2000s.
Yeah.
Mayweather wasn't in the weight class.
He was like 10.
But fight against him, yeah.
But that's my point, I guess, because and I'm just asking you when you allude to that he has great names on his on the ballots he's faced the matches, but I'll just say look at the names when he fought them, like a win at that point in their career. De La Hoya definitely wasn't in his prime.
What's their age difference?
It's a big difference.
That's the thing. De La Hoya is only 4 years older than Mayweather.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, De La Hoya was looking good. It wasn't like when De La Hoya fought Pacquiao. A lot of people don't say it. Pacquiao fought De La Hoya after Mayweather did.
Right.
But no one talks about that. No one says, Pacquiao caught De La Hoya when he was old. It was literally De La Hoya's last fight when he fought Pacquiao. No one talks about
Well,
that.
that's because everybody was praying for De La Hoya then. Like, man, he need to just go ahead and sit down.
But when he fought Mayweather, he had just had a fight where everybody said he looked so good.
But why were they saying he looked so good? But why were they saying he looked so good? Because they knew he was past his prime.
He just fought Mayorga.
Huh?
It was Mayorga.
And he looked good, right? Did he get in with Mayweather? Mayweather make him look like he did Gotti.
Who was Mayorga? Was he? Is he?
Yeah.
Ricardo Mayorga?
Yeah.
At that time,
Mayorga was good. Mayorga just was crazy.
But I'm
Mayorga
saying,
was good.
But at that time when he fought, he was good. He was that dude, right?
Yeah, it was for Mayorga had the WBC title at the time, according to
I'm
De La
just
Hoya's
saying,
record.
but no, I'm with you though, D. I think he's up there. So, but hey man, I just had to ask you that. Just wanted your opinion. But we definitely appreciate you for coming on, and make sure you check him out, Damian Adams. You can find him on all social media at The Real Deal with Damian Adams. And man, it's a great fight. Real quick, who you got?
I'm going with the upset. I'm going with Canelo by decision. Close one.
Wow, okay. Well, we definitely will be tuned in for tonight.
If Canelo wins, though, is that it for Triple G?
Say that again?
If Canelo wins, do you think that's it for Triple G? He's 37. He's coming off of, a draw and a loss.
Yeah, no, Triple G hasn't lost yet, but yeah, he had the draw against Canelo, then he knocked out somebody in his last fight that was just a guy that came in to fill in. But yeah, Triple G still looks good at his age. It depends on how he loses. Okay. If he loses by getting knocked out, then he might be it for him. But if he loses by close decision, then again they could do the rematch.
Okay.
Well, all right. There you have it. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
What's up, man? It's Metal World Peace. Shout out to the 3-Point Conversion Radio.
Are you tired of limiting yourself from tasty food because you want to eat healthy? Well, Salad Express will fix that problem for you. Salad Express is a gourmet salad and grill restaurant that gives you multiple options to satisfy your taste buds and keep you healthy. They have over 40 toppings, which are all cut fresh daily, and 7 homemade soups, including chili. You can also order hot sandwiches and wraps, with choices like grilled chicken, steak, salmon, and shrimp, which can all be added to salad as well. Go ahead and visit them today at 1055 Mansell Road, Suite 600 in Roswell, Georgia. Your taste buds will thank you.
Hey, I'm Diana Taurasi from the Phoenix Mercury, and you're listening to the 3-Point Conversion Radio.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. It's time for these picks. Upsets. Who we're watching. D. It's on you, man.
My upset pick is Texas over USC. Last year, Sam Ehlinger played good against them. As a freshman, he almost brought him back, but I think he fumbled at USC's goal line. He played well last week, also going 21-27 with 2 touchdowns. USC lost last week to Stanford 17-3. I think the 3 points was the fewest in the game since '97. And they starting a true freshman who got a injury to his throwing hand. So I think Texas is going to upset USC.
You know what the funny thing about this? I'm going to give it to you because we're looking at USC is what, number 22?
Is it
ranked?
really a upset?
They're the underdog. And I don't know if this is not a mistake. They're minus what's the name is minus 5 Texas.
Oh wow!
I saw that like what?
Wow, that might not even.
So
be
I guess
upset.
everybody and remember I said it last week. Are they minus 5? Did they change it?
Texas is now down to 3.5.
Minus 3.5.
Yeah, at home.
But USC is ranked
right.
So I guess everybody else feels that way. I said it last week too that USC they were my counterfeit team last week.
Yeah, I think they overrated. They lost week 1 also.
So y'all gonna learn to listen to me.
They won their first game.
They lost the second one though, right?
Yeah, they lost to Stanford.
This is Stanford, right? 17-3. That's
So
they beat UNLV first game.
Yeah, UNLV ran over 308 yards or something like that.
When have you attached UNLV to football?
UNLV, they ran for over 300 yards.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So all they got to do is hand the ball off.
But they couldn't throw it though.
They couldn't throw. But like I said, USC they're overrated. My upset. I'm going with the big one. Going with the shocker. I'm going with Ole Miss beating Alabama. Now you say, Mr. Controversy, really? Ole Miss defense is paper. It is, but for some reason, Ole Miss loves to get up for Alabama. Even when they've lost to Alabama, they've played well.
Shea Patterson isn't walking through that
62-3.
He already walked out of that.
But even when Chad Kelly was there, they played Alabama well. I'm talking about the quarterback. They played Alabama well. I mean, but this is a different Ole Miss team now.
62-3.
No, why? They're a different team because Alabama, they're playing against this fast-paced offense. My man Jordan, is it Ta'amu or Tamu? But either or, he's 7th in passing efficiency. True enough, 2 is first. But I mean, it's just that I think this team could scare Alabama. I think they can get them, man. I mean,
Well, if anyone wants to wager anything, Alabama is a 23-point favorite.
I might.
In Oxford.
Go ahead and put a
and it's
$100
in
on
Oxford.
Go ahead and put 100 on it.
But this offense is just explosive. The only thing is, like I said, defensively, they can't hold water. But I just think that Ole Miss gets up for this game. And this is one of the games that Saban is telling his team, all right, this is the only game that we can afford to lose, and we'll still be able to get in the playoffs. So if you want to take your time, do it now.
Points.
But, yeah, that's crazy. But that's why it's an upset. All right, so now, who's your nosy neighbor watch player?
Shea Patterson. I know we talked about Michigan earlier. I did speak on Michigan. But against Notre Dame, he didn't really do anything. And, he put up all the numbers last week against Western Michigan. And right now he's sitting at 32 for 47 to start the season with 3 touchdowns and a pick. But, again, none of those touchdowns came against Notre Dame. So if he's supposed to be the savior, he's going to do this. He need to put up those numbers against a team and a defense where it means something to. So that's who I'm going to be watching.
All right. My nosy neighbor watch is I'm going with Trevor Lawrence, the Georgia sensation. Man, I saw him last week, and the first play he was in, touchdown pass. Kid has an arm. Anytime when I think he broke Deshaun Watson's high school record. So anytime you can do that in Georgia, and Deshaun was crazy. I think Lawrence was ranked number 2 over behind Fields and Georgia quarterbacks.
Right.
But still, 4 touchdowns. He doesn't look scared. He can make every throw. But I'm looking at him because I just want to see if was it just 2 games? All right, you were good. Okay. Teams know about you now. I want to see is he going to be able to sustain this? So I'm looking to see that. But that dude is a beast though. But like I said, I just want to make sure that it's true. 2, you can do it twice, it happens. Yeah, but 3 times in a row, we'll see. Because teams look out for you now.
Who they play?
Clemson,
Georgia Southern.
Yeah, so he probably so which is good. That's why I'm looking at him, because he's going to get a lot of playing time. They're going to afford to play, so I'm ready. So now let's go to the NFL picks. We're going to start with, of course, Carolina coming here to play the home team, Atlanta Falcons.
Mm-hmm. I'm going with Carolina, and for a lot of the reasons that you spoke of earlier with Atlanta defense, the injuries they've had on defense. But I do think Coleman is going to put up some numbers. But I think overall Carolina wins. Of course, it's going to be a hard-fought game. But I think Cam going to pull it through.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Carolina as well. Even though they don't have the Greg Olsen is out, the right side of the offensive line is a paper bag or whatever. But I think with Cam being out there and the Falcons not having Deion Jones or Keanu Neal, that's going to hurt them. I think Carolina's plan is going to be to run the ball, and I think that's where they'll be able to have an advantage over Atlanta as far as running the ball. Passing the ball, hey, maybe they might get lucky and he'll throw for a couple 100 yards, but running the ball is the key for Carolina to win.
Well, that's why I have the Falcons winning, because I think that Atlanta's going to come out strong, come out quickly. And if he does, I mean, when I say Matt Ryan comes out and he plays well and they're throwing the ball, then you take Carolina out of that, let's run the ball, and then they have to throw, where now you equal everything out with Keanu and Deion out because Olsen's not there. Mm-hmm. So I have the Falcons winning. All right, so next, Minnesota versus the Slackers. The Packers. G, who you have?
Well, it all depends on, does Aaron Rodgers play? And he can cover up a lot of things for the Packers.
He play. That Buster going to play. He better play.
He going to play.
I think the Packers would win if he does play. And if he doesn't, then Minnesota should win by 3 touchdowns, because I don't think Deshaun Kaiser is going to give the Packers anything.
Right. So let me ask you this:
He definitely
do you think that even if Aaron Rodgers plays, do you think it matters? Because he's going against.
I think Minnesota wins.
Anyway. Yeah, this defense
I think Minnesota does win anyway, and I think what the major difference is going to be, not just that defense, right, is that Kirk Cousins is his quarterback, and the offense is going to do a lot more. You know what I mean? The game that they won last week against our beloved Bears, I think that was inexperience, right? I think that was one of the biggest things. I don't think that's going to happen with this team. Minnesota is here. They've done this. They have that quarterback who has done that. They got a dog in the backfield and Cook, you know what I mean? So I think Minnesota gonna pull it out.
Yeah, I'm with you too. And it might be my heart voting on this, but but still, just the defense alone I think is gonna stop Green Bay, and they haven't played well against Minnesota the last 3 years.
And Green Bay don't look tough no more. You know what I mean? Like they don't look like that smash mouth, you know what I mean? Like Clay don't even look like that no more.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because they don't have a running game.
Right.
Yeah, I got Minnesota on this all the way. Now, the interesting game is KC and Pitt. We saw what KC did last week, and Patrick Mahomes. Then we saw what the Steelers did. But we all know the Steelers. It's something about Cleveland where they don't play well in Cleveland.
That was more than not playing well.
Yeah, and it was raining. That
defense looked good, though.
Defense is good. But, guys, so can Mahomes do this again against – and the Steelers' defense is not like all of that.
All of that, right?
But can they do this again?
I think that Kansas City can win, and that's actually who I'm going to go with for a number of reasons. Again, Pittsburgh defense just doesn't look like that. They don't really have it. However, some of the 2 of the touchdowns Mahomes got, I don't really want to call them touchdowns, right? They're going to go down in the book as touchdowns, but they were the little pitches to Hill or whatever. But that one throw where Hill went up and got the ball in between 3 defenders, I think that was more Hill than Mahomes. So that worries me sometime of what Mahomes is going to be, right? Like, he is that gunslinger, but I think this could be a game that they can win. And I think that they should win because Kareem Hunt didn't even do anything last week. So imagine him even taking a step forward this week.
I think it's going to Pittsburgh is going to be worried about – for them to be worried about Tyreek Hill. And you wouldn't think that would be the first person you'd be worried about, but I think he is the first person for Pittsburgh to worry about based on what he did last week. So that could open things up for Kelsey, Hunt, Watkins. I don't know who else they got at receiver, but those will be the main guys getting the ball anyway. So I think with Pittsburgh being focused on Hill, it should open things up for everybody else. And if Mahomes has like options, like other people open, he doesn't have to just like look for one person. I think it's going to work out for Kansas City to win because I don't know who Pittsburgh has on defense.
Right, you can't even
because it's always
you can
that
name
one
J.J.
guy
Watt brother. J.J. Watt brother.
No, I mean they have some players like.
Well, T.J. Watt did have 4 sacks last
and
year,
a blocked field goal. But
yeah, nice. I mean they have Hayden. They're probably gonna put Hayden on Hill. I don't know. Hayden, of course, doesn't have the speed, but Hayden is
play smart.
I think they're going to put Hayden on Watkins because they're going to move Tyreek Hill around. He's going to catch little shovel passes.
But I mean, you have to. Put
I don't know if you want to put that Hayden on that type of speed.
No, Watkins has speed, so he
don't have the speed that he had.
If Hayden just has to worry about Watkins, he's worried about one half of the field. But the whole defense has to worry about Tyreek Hill because he could be anywhere.
But I'm saying Watkins is not going to do anything. Watkins. It's garbage. I mean, come on. And why would you waste your best player on somebody that's garbage? You have to put him. Hey, this is why we pay you the money.
And look, this is Mahomes. Mahomes is a young quarterback. So if you limit where plays can be made,
so that's why I would put him on Tyreek because now, if he put it like this, if he makes that throw.
Hill's the
that you were talking about.
That Hayden can't stay with Hill. No one can stay with Hill.
My point, but still, but I don't think he can stay with Sammy because Sammy has the speed. But what I'm saying is, if he makes that throw to Hill that D referred to where he had to jump up and catch with one hand, Hayden's picking that off. And
I don't think nobody will.
And now with Hayden, now with that, you have to make sure just put a safety on the top. But I think that Steelers come back and win this game. I think Ben Roethlisberger comes back and plays well. James Conner, now the defense is like, all right, they know who he is in a sense, so they're going to kind of have to watch him. I just think Pittsburgh, they're at home. They win this game. Antonio goes off again. And the last game, the Patriots, the Pats, not George, but what was his name? Well, man, I just shouted out.
Jalen Ramsey?
No, for the 3-point for Syndicate's Barbershop. You know, he's a Pat fan.
Nookie.
Yeah, who you got, man? This is your team.
We know who he got. We know who he got.
Who do you think, though?
Man, I think them Jaguars finna hit them boys all in their mouth. I think that defense finna get out there and hit and hit and hit. It was a nasty game last week that they won against the Giants, but I think that they gonna. I think Jacksonville gonna win, but. New England probably gonna win.
If you want to look at the AFC title game last year, there were a couple of plays that should have gone Jacksonville's way, and it didn't.
Yeah,
and that ended up being the difference in the game.
Coaching.
I don't think that. Well, yeah, part of that too, but I don't think that those plays will be the difference in their favor. As far as they may force a couple of turnovers. And the focus, like I said, with Pittsburgh needs to focus on Hill. Jacksonville needs to focus on Gronk because if he is ineffective, that throws off everything.
But look,
wait, Fournette isn't playing.
I was going to say, look, Fournette might not play. Yeah,
if he don't play, it's New England.
That's a different.
He is questionable.
Now,
and even if he play, he's not going to play.
If Jacksonville has to depend on Blake Bortles to win the game.
Well, I mean, I think Yeldon, but I think that might work in Jacksonville's favor because now they don't have a lot of film on Yeldon. At least they have a half, I guess. But Yeldon can come in. I mean, he's a receiving threat. He can still run the ball between the tackles. He's not like Fournette. But I still don't think you change the game plan with Yeldon.
Somebody got to get him the ball, though. when he receiving out the backfield.
I mean, but y'all talk about Blake, but Blake is not like horrible like that. Blake is not. I mean, the problem is, the difference is who is Blake throwing to because of what receivers he's going to throw to. I know you got the guy named Cole. You got Dante Moncrief.
Last year he had everybody, and he had most of his team, right?
And he played well. It wasn't. He didn't play bad.
He played okay.
No, he played well.
He played okay.
He didn't play bad.
He played okay to me.
He played well enough to put him in a position to win. It wasn't Fournette. Fournette wasn't gashing him like that. It was coaching him back. It was coaching. But I have Jacksonville.
Coaching and defense.
I have Jacksonville winning as well. So
if Fournette plays, right?
No.
Even without?
No. Yeah. Okay. I don't think Fournette is the difference. I think, like I said, I think it's just
stay with the game plan.
Yeah, stay with the game plan. You don't have that much film on Yeldon.
So
that's why you don't come out and say who's playing until game time. Make him a game time decision. And then all of a sudden, if he doesn't play, all right, we're not playing him.
Or let him play, but limit his carries just so he out there. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't let him play. I wouldn't even risk that.
I wouldn't let him play either because that hamstring ain't nothing to play with.
Right.
You'll be out for the season messing around with a hamstring.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Have you been looking for a radio station that gives you sports?
I don't believe it! It's a touchdown!
Entertainment?
Are you not entertained?
And other special interest talk shows?
Well, isn't that special?
All on one app?
Yo, that's dope. What app is that?
It's the Real 1100 AM app for WWE. Grab it for free in your Google Play or Apple App Store today.
Hey, what's going on, sports fans? It's your boy Damian Adams from The Real Deal with Damian Adams. Now, you can catch my show on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time here on the 3-Point Conversion Station. But for right now, I'm listening to the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge with my man, Mr. Controversy. Always keeping it real, always keeping it raw. I can't miss out on this on my Saturday mornings, so keep it locked to the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge.
You're back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge with Mr. Controversy and D Intellectual.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Major League Baseball time. The Braves has won 6. They haven't won 6 in a row. 6. And just last week, this time I was saying they're going on a skid. And they were on 2.5 games back. I mean, 2.5 games ahead. Now they're
7.5.
7.5. Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
Big boys.
So, last week, H.O. talked about a possible trade where it's been looming, talking about Trout coming out here. Would you break up the team? He didn't answer when I asked him. Would you break up the team for Trout? Because right now,
you gotta see what they're gonna want. You know what I mean? And what I would think that they would be trying to get is a lot of prospects. Now, you probably definitely aren't giving up. How you pronounce?
No, they not. Yeah, they ain't act. They're not giving him away. You can't
give him away. But I mean, you talking about Mike Trout? It depends on. I guess it gets to the point of, is he going to stay here? Because all of that is going to play a point into it. You know what I mean? How long is left on this contract? All that. But you talking about Mike Trout, man? I don't want to say he's not one of the best in the game, but I know he's been getting that title for the last few years. But it's a lot of numbers that say otherwise. But you're talking about one of the best players in the game, so you always got to listen to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think you personally make that trade. I don't want to break up this team when right now I mean, true enough, you're probably going to get rid of Nick Markakis. He's getting up there. You're not giving away Freeman. You're not giving away the young guys. Culberson is playing well. I mean, right now, it's just because the only thing that's hurting the Braves right now is relievers. And I guess the last few games they've played better, but relievers are the only group, players that hurt the Braves.
So you wouldn't give up Freeman and some prospects for Trout?
No.
I would do that in a heartbeat.
No. Well, they're not just asking for prospects. They ask for players as well. I wouldn't do it. See if you get a 3-team trade. I know they don't do that in baseball a lot, but you need to go basketball on this one. But now
you said get somebody else incorporated.
Now everything is heating up, man. I mean, as we talked about, the Cardinals right now, they're trying to creep up. They're tied for the second wild card spot in the National League. The Cubs are looking over their shoulders because not even looking over their shoulders, they're almost
on
looking
their heels. They on their back.
They looking left.
They carrying
right, because the Brewers are what
right there,
and
it's like you said, it's crazy though because you know the Cubs are the best record in the National League. Milwaukee got the second best record in the National League, so it's not like that Milwaukee isn't good. We in the toughest division, and Milwaukee right there, man. They got somebody that's not even being talked about, maybe in the MVP race, with Yelich, Christian Yelich. Yeah. He got numbers, batting almost 320, some 30 home runs, almost 90 RBIs.
Yeah, I was about to say the Bucks. The Brewers are a game and a half back of Chicago, which is not good for the Cubs, especially when you got relievers trying to beat out double play balls. Then Hayward is out,
and even the game last night, they almost lost.
Right,
Schwarber. It was a 3-run. Ian Happ hit a 3-run shot to win 3-2 in the 8th.
Yeah, so Cubs are like
they got the Reds today and tomorrow. Then they go to Arizona. That's always gonna be a battle. Like,
it's so the playoff is heating up, man. Now,
and they play the Sox, which is, even though the Sox are terrible because it's the crosstown rivalry, that can go either way.
Now, Milwaukee, we think they pretty much have a wild card spot or a playoff spot, either or they get in. All right, Colorado and LA right now. So basically, the wild card is the Cardinals, Colorado, and LA. They're racing for that final spot. Yeah. Now, but in the West, though, Colorado, LA,
half a game.
Who do you like in that?
Like, you want to say the Dodgers, right? But the way they played all year, they've been so up and down. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go with the Rockies. Story over there doing his thing. And what's the other guy?
Why you look for him? Do you think Arizona has a shot? Because they're 3.5 back.
They not out the picture, 3.5 games, man. And then they
because San Fran, I was gonna say San Fran has to play LA. They played. Matter of fact, San Fran lost. Colorado lost to San Fran, and then
it's a tight race, man.
Yeah, so Colorado and LA play again. I think they play. I don't know when, but they're going to play again. It's one of them things like you need a team to sweep one of the people, but at the same time, I guess split it.
And then Arizona's coming. The Cubs are playing Arizona this, early next week. So
yeah, it's definitely
got to win games.
It's definitely heating up, man.
Colorado got Nolan Arenado. That's who I was speaking of. He batting 334 home runs, 100 RBIs. Like you know what I mean.
And then quickly, I just want to talk about the Yankees and the American League. The Yankees, they're getting into a wild card position, but the problem is, will they have the home field? Now, we know that wild card is just one game. And the Yankees, they will be close to winning They almost got 100 wins, and they're playing. They might be playing on the road.
Oakland too. They right there with 90.
But no, but that's what I'm saying. But Yankees though,
right?
They might be playing on the road.
This happens.
And this
teams
is
win 100 games, and
this is what I was talking about with the whole wild card thing, man.
Right.
Like, dude, it need to one game. Come on.
Meanwhile, Cleveland just sitting there like
just chilling. We good.
Y'all got it. We good.
We good over here. 15 games above. But even in the wild card, right? The AL wild card almost pretty much sold up already. The Seattle 8.5 games out.
Yeah, it's pretty much sold up. But the thing is, do you want to go travel all the way to Oakland? And that's the thing. This is not like you're playing. I guess it'd hurt Oakland.
So they
more.
don't. It would be.
It'd be more Oakland
Houston.
than Yankees because let's say if Oakland and the Yankees get the two wild card spots, with Yankees traveling to Oakland, it won't be as bad because they're gonna make this a primetime game.
Right.
So it's not gonna hurt the Yankees as much.
So what the who get home field is gonna be based on the record.
Right.
So if Oakland comes to New York, then that's gonna be that could become a problem. Either way, depending on when that game is, that time shift.
I don't think it will because it'll be what? Say if the game's going to more than likely be at 8:00.
It's usually that Monday after the season,
something like that, right? That's 4:00 in the daytime, so it's not like
they probably
a big.
Get there Saturday or Sunday to get.
Yeah, and then with Yankees going up there, it still has to be a primetime game. It can't be at 10:30 unless. Do they play them the same day?
Who?
Or do they play them on different days? I think they play them different days. I think it's different days.
Yeah, I think it is.
I don't know, but if it is.
It's usually like that Monday, though.
Actually,
I think both
Tuesday.
of the games.
Yeah, no, they don't do both of the games. So that's why I said the Yankees, they really won't be hurting. They may not get a lot of sleep the night before like that, but it's still going to be around the same time that they normally play because it's a primetime game.
But it's going to work out for them to stay at home. They need.
But all right, we're going to stay tuned. We're going to see. But we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Greetings, Barry here. The Real 1100 wants you to register to vote. Join us for our Be the Change Register to Vote campaign. Come on out Saturday, September 22nd, and enjoy music, refreshments, and a chance to meet some of your favorite Real 1100 show hosts and enter raffle giveaways. Be the change you would like to see. Register to vote with us September 22nd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. We can't wait to meet you. And remember, don't boo, vote.
Hey, this is Brittany Griner from the Phoenix Mercury, and you listen to the 3-Point Conversion.
Yes, if you hear this music, you already know what it means. Meaning it's time to let you go. But before we let you go, we're going to give a couple of shout-outs, and you might be part of it. First, I want to give a shout-out to Almighty God for giving me this platform to do what I do, say what I say, to make you all upset, mad, want to give me the stop it button.
Stop it.
Tired of that. And and just, like I said, just to come in and talk noise, man, talk sports. Also, I want to thank our special guest, Damian Adams, for coming on. Appreciate you, sir. I want to thank my crew, Miss Crystal Dayan. Appreciate you. G, doing what he's doing. Then my road dog, Mr. D Intellectual.
Yes, appreciate that good handoff. I want to give a shout out to everybody that's always listening, friends, family, and anything else you are that listen to us every week. Tune in to the station. Check us out on Facebook. Look at all our everything. Shout out to my co-host for always holding it down as usual, whether I'm here or whether I'm not here. We always make it happen. G, #1 internet in the world. Shout out to Crystal. Definitely appreciate it. And definitely shout out to my cousin Sean Calvin and the young homies at Safety Net Facility in Mentor, Alabama. I know a lot of people have given up on y'all, but as I say every week, you always got family here at 3-Point Conversion.
All right, and I want to thank my family and friends, beautiful wife, children, aunties, uncles, cousins, play cousins, grandparents, and all. Thank everybody who listened. Shout out to Mike Patton, Cindy Cuz Barbershop, Sucker Free Life LLC, Express Salad. And hey, have a great weekend. Enjoy football, enjoy sports, eat good, love family, let family know that you love them. And until then, same time, same show, same crazy host, same nonsense in sports. Will you miss me? I'm out. Peace.
Peace.
You just got done listening to the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Be sure to follow us on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook accounts at the 3-Point Conversion. And also make sure you check out our website, the3pointconversion.com. Be sure to follow us live and listen every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern.